but they're not a match. They're not a connection. You know, love isn't blind in their case, and the experiment was a fail. Melanie P. Let's go with Melanie B. Let's go with Melanie B. Okay. Welcome back to another episode. We're talking about Love is Blind. Every time I see and hear this title of this show, Love is Blind, I think about Eve and that song. You know, I'm not the only one. So on the last episode, I talked to you about Uche and Aaliyah. Aaliyah. Make sure you tune into that episode. Make sure you comment. I'm talking about my favorite couple, hands down, Izzy and Stacey. Where should I say? Izzy and Stacey are my favorite couple of the season so far. Izzy is my favorite man. I thought he's very, very, very attractive. I love his teeth. I love his dress. I love his smile. I love his energy. Stacey, I love Stacey's energy. Now, Stacey's looks. If I have nothing nice to say. So, you know, I like Stacey. Stacey has good energy. Stacey is fun. Stacey is a bucket of laughter, energy, fun. I just really thoroughly enjoyed her. She was very consistent. She wasn't on the show to make friends like our girl Aaliyah. She was full of just so much energy, and I really liked her. I think that she was very genuine. I think that she, like I said, came on the show with a mission. Her mission was to find her man, not make friends. I think she was smart enough to not even tell people who her like favorite was. And I thought that was so smart. She was giving grown, like she is the opposite, honestly, of Aaliyah. She gave dedication. She gave like, you know, I have a goal here. I'm not here to make friends, you know, whatever. So Stacey is 33 and she's the operations manager. Now it could be because she's a little bit older that she obviously had a little bit more maturity than our girl Aaliyah, which, I mean, you know, 28, 33, I guess there's a couple of years, you know, difference there. But she's 33, she's an operations manager, and her boo Izzy was 29 and he is an insurance agent. So Izzy, I said, you know, he's fine. He's been single for 2 years, and I liked him because he didn't lead anybody else on. I think that a lot of women, Lydia liked him and Johnny liked him as well. And he was aware that these other women liked him, but I feel like he was pretty much upfront with, you know, doing the right thing. Obviously, the part of the show is to, like, you know, see if you can find connections with other people on the show and find the best connection and then move forward with that particular person. And I think he did that in a very mature way. I thought he was very vulnerable. I loved when he said that, you know, I love a vulnerable man, but who still has masculinity. He was very upfront about, you know, one of his biggest fears was being rejected and like being alone and like, you know, not having someone, you know, take a chance on him or, leave him or being abandoned. And so that was something that him and Stacey had in common. They both, you know, had a little bit of a fear of abandonment in relationships. I think off gate, the big difference between them, honestly, and all the other couples, minus Milton and Lydia, but that's another story in another episode. They had constant connection, constant energy, constant laughter from the beginning. I resonated the most with Stacey. I just loved her vibe. I loved her energy. I loved everything about her. There's not a lot to say about them. Now, again, as you see when episodes go on, there's a little bit of classism that comes into play. I keep saying, I don't like that. A little bit of classism that comes into play, and that kind of rears its ugly head. You know, they meet each other in the pods, that goes great. They meet each other in real life, that goes great. One of the things that was interesting is when they went on their little honeymoon or pre-moon or whatever, It seems like the constant with the women versus the men is that the women are really much more talking about sex than some of the men are, which is kind of backwards. There was a couple of comments that Stacey was making, like she wanted him to like ravish her. She wanted him to be forceful. I think she was surprised that he's this big, muscular, tall, dude, and she made it seem like he was kind of soft and like too romantic in the bed, and she wanted him to be a little bit more forceful, which I found to be very interesting. He doesn't give me the kind of guy, he gives me sensual. Like he gives me overly sensual, not rough. And, Stacey being a grown woman that she is, she's like, hey, you're going to be my husband. We're going to be married forever. I want you to like take me in your arms and do whatever nasty stuff that she thinks that is supposed to do to her. So she was very open and communicative about, her desires and her needs in the bedroom. I also think that she was pleasantly surprised with his sexual parts. So obviously there's no issue there. But it did freak me out when he met her family. It made me scared and it made me nervous because let me back up. Whenever they went to his house was really, really decorated very well. That was very, very surprising to me. It looked like a woman decorated his house, but I feel like he's super in touch with his feminine side. I feel like he's kind of not soft, like in the negative sense, but he is, he's in tune with his feminine side. He's in tune with his feminine energy. Now, the whole argument about the lost and found, I just cannot believe that was really a thing. That really seemed like scripted. And I know that it's not. I know that it can't be. And I really want Stacey to explain this on the reunion, because when you get with somebody, you have to understand that everybody has a past. This man was a bachelor before he came on the show. Now, I don't know how much time, because she made a comment like, oh, well, when I came home, I erased, which was stupid. She said she deleted and threw away every picture of any other guy ever in her life because she knew that she was getting married to this guy. Well, you don't know that you're getting married to this guy because he hasn't even said yes yet, and neither have you. So that was kind of dumb, which made me believe and think, like, is this, producers kind of pushing just, hey, guys, have an argument, or, do something exciting because everybody on this damn show is boring this season, so make up some shit. Like that's what it's giving a little bit. I thought that was really weird. And for her to go outside now, you don't really see her be emotional, especially not like Aaliyah, but you don't see her doing a lot of crying at all on the season. So I found it odd that she cried about a damn lost and found. I thought that was really, really weird. I loved how they said they handled it, though. They talked about it. They got over it. He understood her feelings. They made dinner and kept it moving, which was really, 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 really mature of them. And it was a great sign of, if they do decide to get married and if they do decide to stay together, then it's a good sign of how they're going to deal with conflict and deal with arguments. It's a good sign. There's nothing really bad that I can say other than that was weird about the lost and found and the concern about the finances. Now, Stacey is used to the soft life, and she made comments about 50-50 and, not wanting to go Dutch. Her dad said that she's not the kind of girl that's going to want to go Dutch. She said she's not the kind of woman that's going to want to go Dutch. Izzy was like 50-50. Everybody throw out their debit cards and whoever pays, pays. And she was not feeling that. So I think that could be an issue in their relationship. It seems like Stacey comes from money. She comes from some generational wealth. She comes from a father who will take the whole family to Paris. And I don't think Izzy comes from that same, background. So I feel like the only red flag that I could see could be finances. They seem to have really good communication and workout ability, to where if there are financial concerns and issues, then they can work through it. But one of the biggest, reasons that couples don't make it is because of children and because of finances, so that does worry me about them. The difference in background does worry them about me. Stacey looks, I hate to say this shit, but I don't think she's going to age well. I don't think Stacey's going to age well. For her to be 33, and maybe it's the camera, maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the makeup, but she looks like she could be in her late 30s, early 40s. But listen, if he likes it, I love it. And that's what I'm saying. I said that on the previous one. Like, none of these couples are given like none of these people are giving, interesting to look at, which is very, very weird. And that might be why there's only 4 couples that made it. I had 3 couples that made it because, Aaliyah and Uchi not together. So it's really only 3 couples for the whole season, which is really strange to me. And out of all places, Houston, but I'm getting off track here. So moral of the story, I like Izzy. I love Stacey. I love her energy. I love Izzy and Stacey together. I definitely think between Johnny, Lydia, and Stacey, Izzy made the perfect choice out of the 3 ladies. I did not like how Izzy attacked Johnny. Did not like that. I thought that was kind of weird. But again, I feel like it was a situation of, this season's boring, so could you guys do this to jazz it up? I really feel like if it was left up to the people on the season and not some buy-in or input from the producers, this would have been a trash season. I probably dare even say maybe the producers called Lydia to come in because the show was just so damn boring with the people who was on there. Hopefully the producers, what's his name? Damn, the Backstreet Boy and the damn other girl, the host. Hopefully they listen to the feedback from the people, because this season, the people were not interesting at all. While I'm here, I think I might go ahead and touch on the elephant in the room, Taylor and JP. If Awkward had a name, if Awkward had a picture, it would be JP. Another couple we have on this season is Taylor, 25, teacher, and then JP, I don't know how old he is, but he's a firefighter. Now, this couple to me, again, they just blend in. They didn't really stand out on the episodes. Like, none of these couples, just think about and I think I said this before, but just think about other seasons. Like, other couples, they just stood out. You knew Crazy Eyes, you knew Lauren, you knew these different people, even the assholes, you knew them. There was a villain on last season. There was just dimension and depth on the previous seasons, but this season it's just giving flatline. Now, Taylor is a teacher. She's 25. She definitely has some self-esteem issues. I think she's so pretty. So I was like, damn, if she got self-esteem issues, we're all doomed, because I thought she was very pretty, had a very nice body. Her makeup looked really good. She carried herself very well, but you never know what's going on behind somebody's, internally. She said she struggled with letting herself go. She didn't love herself in the past, and she was ready to love someone now. She was very, 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 very nurturing. She had some huge boobs, which I thought was like, wow, they were really huge. She was really nice. Just a very nice, wholesome girl. She just seemed like somebody who would just make the best mom. Just so calm. I get why she's a teacher. I thought that she'd make a very, very good teacher, because she just was so calm and just so nurturing. So you have her matched up with JP, a firefighter. Lord, my God. Here's a weird thing. All my notes for him says a mute in real life. I watched this the first time, and obviously, again, spoiler alert, they don't make it. But when I was watching the awkwardness after they met and when they were, on their little honeymoon thing, I was like, damn, let me go back and watch this again, because did they have a connection in the pods? And they truly, truly did. I went back and I watched I watched them again and they had a connection. He was witty. He was funny. He was emotional. He was vulnerable. He was talkative in the pods. They had good back and forth banter in the pods. He was a cool guy. He was a smooth guy. Like I said, he had wit. He had cool little one-liners. He was very vulnerable talking about his mom and how he had like, how he witnessed kind of like a verbal abuse growing up, and how he felt like he couldn't protect his sisters from his mom and all that stuff. And I guess he didn't really see an example of a good marriage between him and his mom. So, they're bonding, they're joking, they're being jovial, they're having fun, they're laughing. It's like off the gate, they attached to each other. I feel like they didn't even really get to know from what we saw anybody else. Like they show you on the show that, hey, I'll marry you right now. And it's like the first or second time they're meeting, like, I'll marry you right now. I'm done. I don't need to talk to nobody else. And they just clung to each other. I think it would have been great. And again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but I think it would have been great if both of them would have invested in other people or got to know other people. And maybe they did, but they just did not show that. I really feel like Taylor was a really great catch for somebody, and I hope that she meets somebody else from the show, because he wasted the fuck out of her time. I don't even know where to begin. Again, great connection in the pods. They come out the pods. Let's just start with when they first meet each other. So when those doors open, you knew that it was a wrap. You knew that there wasn't physical attraction. I think more so from her. And she did say that. She was like, oh, I wouldn't normally talk to a guy with a gap, but, love is blind and, love wins, which obviously that's not true because they're not together. They kept doing this awkward kissing. He kept like kissing her in the most, nerd 40-year-old virgin way. It was really, really, really awkward. And I'm gonna tell you my diagnosis for him. I felt like he had social anxiety, and that's why he did so well in the pods, because he wasn't in front of anyone. He was just basically talking to a wall. But I feel like when he had to actually be personable and engage with somebody in real life, his social anxiety came back out to play, which is so weird because I know people had to sign up for this show. So why did you even pick this guy to be a option? But I'm sure like he did to Damn Taylor, he probably did it to the producers as well, show this great side of him. And he's really a psycho, like, I shouldn't say that because social anxiety is a real thing. He struggles with social anxiety behind closed doors. Again, very talkative in the pods, good banter, blah, 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 silly, witty, in the pod. Like, shit, I would have dated him if I had to talk to him in a pod. But then when they get together, it is a hot mess. My worst nightmare. My worst nightmare is being with somebody and there's a bunch of awkward silence. And seeing her be in that situation was very much cringe. I feel like she already dealt with self-worth, self-esteem, self-value issues. He does as well in a different way. And them two together was just a shit show. And I feel like, initially, him being weird and not talking, she probably blamed herself. Like, I think she visibly blamed herself and was like, oh my God. Well, she said it. She was like, maybe he doesn't like what he sees and that's why he's being so quiet. So she immediately thought, oh shit, it's me. Like, this guy is not just a weirdo, but no, it's my fault, which rightfully so. I can see how anybody who has such a connection with somebody, like, before they see you in person and then they see you in person and now they're not talking. I think it's very normal to be like, oh shit, bitch, am I ugly? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Am I not his type? Like, why is he not saying anything to me? So I could understand in the beginning why she might have thought oh shit, is it me? But no, it wasn't you, it was him. And I felt so bad for him because I know people who struggle with social anxiety, and it is really, truly a debilitating, real thing. And I think for people like myself who are just, and I don't want to say regular people, but are personable, outgoing, shit, put me in a room and I'm gonna fucking own the room, in the next 5 minutes. Like, for people like me, it's very difficult to understand, like, what goes through people who have social anxiety, what goes through their minds when they're in social settings. But being able to talk to people who have this issue, it made me really feel bad for him. But then I'm like, you signed up for this show, and then he gonna blame her for, oh, well, you had eyelashes on and you had makeup on. And I'm like, is this how she really looks? Like, that is when you lost me, because you are like, is it gaslighting? I don't know. It's one of those cliche words. Like, you are really giving manipulator. That was really not cool that he did that. You should have just been grown enough to say, listen, in the past, I've struggled with, this before. I have social anxiety, or I have a little bit of anxiety. It's not you, it's me. Please just bear with me. But he blamed her, as many manipulators and narcissists do. They blame other people. I don't think he's a narcissist, but I think he is, and I don't think he's a manipulator. But I do think that a person dealing with some type of anxiety and social anxiety, he panicked and just blamed her. And that's where she was like, bitch, you got me fucked up, because I don't look that different without makeup. And I did not respect that from him. And I really felt bad because he just looked like a little sad puppy when she was packing her bags to leave. And even though he blamed her, and even though he signed up for the show, deep down, I felt really bad. And what you have to understand about people who suffer from social anxiety is that they truly try. People like that, you kept hearing him say, I'm trying, don't leave me, work with me, bear with me, don't give up on us. I think in his mind, he was making strides and trying his best, and he just thought that was enough, but it wasn't enough. And no shame on Taylor, because she did a great, awesome job, better than I think most people, better than me, with nurturing the situation, with being patient, she kept saying, hey, let's just pretend like there's a wall up. Like, she kept saying, hey, let's try this, or hey, she wanted to be out of there. I don't even think she even wanted to go. Like, I think she knew he was a weirdo and they were not connecting before they got on that damn plane to go wherever they were. But I think that because she's a nurturer, because she wants love so bad, and because she wants to be on the show, she wanted to try and she hoped for the best. And I think he was trying, but I just think that they were definitely not compatible. And that really sucks. And I really felt bad for JP. He didn't have any lips either. He did not have any lips. And here's the funny part. Beautiful girl, beautiful young girl. Even though she wasn't physically attracted to him, she would have stayed with him. And if there was some progress, or if he made bigger strides, I think she would have stayed with him and stuck it out. But you could see in the episodes that they showed that he was trying, but like nothing was changing. It just wasn't who he was. It's so interesting to see how, when I looked at it twice, how energetic and like witty is a very beautiful skill to have, especially in dating. Like, being witty and being quick on like the wit will get you far in dating, and he really did that behind the pods. But that was not in real life, and I felt really bad for him. And honestly, he tried so hard. He really tried so hard. He needed to get some lip injections, because his lips are just not there. I didn't like that. His lips were totally not there. And then when he looked at her was just really weird. Like, he gave me, it's sad. I don't want to say weirdo and keep saying creep, but he did give me weirdo creep vibes. And that's sad. But they're not a match. They're not a connection. Love isn't blind in their case, and the experiment was a fail. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on JP and Taylor. Like, I mean, I think they're pretty much black and white. That was a wrap. It wasn't going to work. What are your thoughts? Leave it below. Stacey and Izzy. Was Stacey and Izzy your favorite couple? Did you love Stacey the way I love Stacey? I loved Stacey. Her energy just resonates with me, and I really thoroughly enjoyed her, and I thoroughly enjoyed her grown woman vibe. So let me know what you think. Do you think that Stacey and Izzy are going to go through with it? Do you think the dad is giving him like a, hey, buddy, you're not going to make it. You don't make enough. You know, your tax bracket is not enough. Do you think that's going to be an issue with their finances? Do you think, is there somebody else that you would pair Taylor with? Because I think that JP probably needs to go see a therapist and, you know, deal with some of his issues. But our girl Taylor, who could listen? What about Taylor and Uche? What about Taylor and Uche? I could see Taylor and Uche. Oh wow, I could definitely see Taylor and Uche. Anyway, let me know your thoughts below, and I'm going to catch you next time.